Let me start by asking you to form in your mind an image that I always ask voters to picture, because I picture it every day, and it guides this campaign in many ways. And it's the image of what it's going to be like the first time that the sun comes up over the mountains and lakes of New Hampshire, and Donald Trump is no longer the President of the United States. It feels good to remember that day's coming, right? But just to know that one way or the other that day will in fact come, that it is in our future, and that we will be able to put the corruption behind us and put the chaos behind us and put the tweets behind us. Won't that be nice? I know that last week was depressing for a lot of us watching the news, watching the way the Senate GOP turned a trial into a sham and a foregone conclusion. And I know that that creates a sense of exhaustion that may tempt some of us to turn it off and walk away altogether, which is, of course, exactly how the cynics would win, exactly what we cannot allow to happen. But the good news is, the great thing about being a voter in the year 2020 is that we get the final say. The Senate may have been the jury last week, but we're the jury now, and the final verdict is up to us when it comes to this president and an awful lot of those senators. So let's make sure we use that power to bring about the change we need to see. This is our chance.
Tyler's question is, what's your plan with mental health? If you become the nominee and take the debate stage next to President Trump, do you confront him on his lies and bigotry, or hold back for fear of offending his base?
So here's my approach. And again, if I was you, give a wave, so I'm looking in the right direction. Although I imagine that's on a lot of people's minds. Here's how I approach this president. He's kind of like, you ever seen those Chinese finger traps where the harder you pull, the more you get stuck in them? He's kind of like that, but with our attention. He has this knack for commanding our attention through outrage. So here's the trick. When he lies, you have to confront it. When he does something wrong, you have to stand up to it. And yet, a big part of this is to make sure he can't suck all of the attention in his direction. So will I call him out? Absolutely. And I think I'm the right person to do it. You know, somebody who talks about the forgotten men and women of the country, but views my part of the country mostly as a place that he can look down on out of his window in between going to golf courses with his name on it, ought to have to stand next to somebody who's not a millionaire, actually lives in a middle-class neighborhood in an industrial Midwestern city that is the exact kind of community that he has claimed to speak for but sold out when it comes to his actual policy. Somebody who likes to cloak himself in religion. This president, ought to have to debate someone who is not afraid to remind fellow believers that God does not belong to a political party. And yes, somebody who avoided serving when it was his turn ought to be called to account on a debate stage by somebody who can talk about the meaning of service and illustrate why somebody who punishes war heroes and pardons war criminals is no patriot. I will do that.
The Democratic Party and the country.
Aha, all right.
Thank you for coming out to the environmental side of people and the
All right.
environmental stuff.
Well, thanks for following up on that. We're gonna need everybody as part of the solution for the next generation. Thanks. Yeah, you bet.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Good word, please. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Thank you.
My Republican father is voting for you.
Well, that's a good sign. All right.
Thank you very
Tell him I
much.
said thanks.
I will.
That's great.
I got it for you.
Oh, sorry.
Going out.
Happy with great, good with
Thank
you
you so
Yes,
much.
that was so great.
Thank you. Yeah.